guys, it is game week, and Cody is throwing stuff around on his computer on the other screen. But hey, that's okay. We're ready for it because it is finally,
I'm trying to get situated.
yeah,
Leave me alone.
it's finally game week. Again, we're doing a video. You podcast watchers, if you want to check it out, check the link out that I've put up, and you can follow to find our YouTube channel and find these videos. Cody, how we doing this evening?
We're struggling.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can kind of tell that your video is a little bit delayed, but that's okay. Could be worse, right?
Yeah, it could be audio delayed, video delayed, computer issues, internet issues, our normal every
Yeah,
setup.
that's kind of the way it is. Well, a little run through of some stuff that we're gonna do. We're gonna do our normal, talk a little bit about some news. Man, I tell you what, when you get quiet, it does. It picks up everything back behind you.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Gotta love
say,
microphone, man.
don't drop it.
Whenever you start talking, it get
Yeah, don't drop anything back behind you. But anyways,
what?
like I said, we're gonna run through some news like we normally do. We'll review the games from this past week. We've got our Crimson Dog of the week. Then we're going to jump outside the league and talk a little bit about stuff. Top 25 came out earlier, so we're going to run through it as well and discuss some of it. Then at the end of the show, as we normally do, we're going to do the high school review from this past Friday night. Cody, you got any news that you want to talk about this evening?
I guess really the biggest news out is out of the SEC coming from the Big Ten. They have finally decided to join the rest of college football. I think we talked a little bit about it last week on our Friday edition of our podcast. But Big Ten has announced they are playing an 8-game schedule. So best of luck to them. We'll just have to see how the committee and all addresses that situation.
Yeah, you're right. Like you said, we talked a little bit about it last time. We are 5 days away from kickoff. A little bit of the news that came out of, hey, Cody, I'm going to stop this a second. I don't know if there's any kind of a way to... Yeah, it's so loud. I'm going to attempt to turn it down on our audio stuff. Sorry, you guys, for video and all. I'm going to attempt to kind of turn it down so it's not too loud on you guys, and I'll try to bump you back up in a minute. That sounds pretty good. Maybe it'll stay that way when you're not talking. There's just so much ambient noise back behind it. But regardless, I'm gonna move forward with it, and we'll try to get through it. I know last time when I think we were doing like the high school round through, when you stopped talking completely, it was so loud just listening to the ambient noise behind you. But anyways, a little bit of news out of the SEC was per Greg Sankey. He did this 10-game scheduling mainly to control the opportunity to name a champions, a champion out of the SEC. I don't think, like he said, don't think many people expected him to do this, but he's kind of just now really coming out talking about it. I think I said this last week based on Georgia. I really do believe that DeJuan Mathis, after these past couple of weeks of Saturday practices and scrimmages, I guess, I really do believe that DeJuan Mathis is going to be the starter there at quarterback in Georgia. And some news out of Bama, not really news, but a little press conference that Laura Rutledge did with Mac Jones. Mac said that they're ready, and I think one of the kind of funny things, I'm going to kind of paraphrase the way that he said it, was once they start, next thing you know, they're going to be winning a whole bunch of games. So I think Mac is geared up there at Alabama, and looking forward to them kind of winning some games and getting things going there in Tuscaloosa. So at least he's got his head on the swivel from it. A little bit of news outside. Sorry, go ahead.
So I think he's just ready. After sent behind Jalen Hurts and Tua for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of like, all right, it's my time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, that's true.
See what shoes he can fill.
Yeah, one other piece of news, this is outside of the league as well, is FSU's head coach has tested positive for COVID. He was asymptomatic. Their next game coming up this weekend is against Miami. So hopefully they can get him back for that. Luckily he was asymptomatic, so hopefully everything turns out okay for him. They did announce that he's not going to be.
Yeah, they announced that he was going to be out for the Miami game, and then the intern head coach was is going to coach that game.
Okay.
So he's going to be out for the Miami game.
Gotcha. Well, hopefully, prayers to him, prayers to the team that nobody contracts it from him. I think they've got enough stuff in place to take care of that. Like you said, a little bit out of the news, Big Ten is getting started. They won't get started till the end of October, but we're going to run through. Let's jump ahead, and we're going to run through not the top 25 yet, but let's go through this past Saturday's games. Even though the SEC wasn't playing again, we've got it up 5 games or 5 days until kickoff does come up. So at least you do have that. Um, but if you want to, Cody, let's run through the games from this past weekend real quick.
Alrighty. Let's see. You want to start or you want me to?
No, go ahead with it. I'll throw some in there after you go through a few.
Okay. We'll start off with Oklahoma State and Tulsa. Oklahoma State gets the win, 16-7, improving to 1-0 on the season. The Louisiana Raging Cajuns go 2-0 on the season, winning in overtime against Georgia State,
Barely.
34-31.
I think last
Hey,
week's
a win's
episode,
a win, man.
we did a little bit of overrated, underrated. And if I look back at it, I do think I had them a little bit overrated when they put them at the 19th spot. And I'm not trying to knock on them. They may be good.
Yeah, you did.
Georgia State may have all of a sudden turned into a really good program over, since last season. But I think that's a little bit of an eye opener for you to kind of see what's going to happen with them. Now, we'll get to the top 25, here in just a little bit that came out, and we can, discuss further into that. But anyways, roll on with what you got there, brother.
Continue on down, Syracuse and number 25 Pitt. Pitt gets the win, 21-10, improving to 2-0 on the season. Liberty University gets the win over Western Kentucky, 30-24. Western Kentucky's just having a bad year. They're 0-2 now. Continue on down, number 13 Cincinnati got the win over Austin Peay, 55-20. So I think that one was pretty much over before it even got started. At least that's how it sounds.
Yeah.
Boston College gets their first win on the year, 26-6 over Duke. And then Marshall with an upset on 23 App State, improving to 2-0 on the season. Marshall won that game 17-7. UTS University of Texas San Antonio got a win over SF Austin for 24-10. Troy, another one of your power Sunbelt teams, gets a win over Middle Tennessee, 47-14. Clemson gets an easy win over the Citadel, 49-0. Texas State gets a win over UL Monroe, 38-17. Louisiana Tech gets their first win on the year, 31-30 over Southern Miss. That was a real close game. Continuing down, Wake Forest loses to NC State, 45-42. So another good close game there in the ACC. UTEP got a win over
Abilene
Christian.
Christian.
Probably screw that team up. Abilene. Winning 17-13. And the other game we had on the weekend was Coastal Carolina with a win over Campbell, 43-21.
Yeah, you mentioned a few good ones there. One of the other ones I think we mentioned last week was the Houston Baylor game. It did end up getting canceled as well. A couple of other ones. Navy does get the win over Tulane. Navy
Memphis
fought back from that one pretty late to be able to come back and win by a field goal there at the end. Let's see, Notre Dame with a big win over South Florida. Not too much surprise out of that when they win 52-0. Kind of dime spotting them there. UCF kind of was back and forth there for a little bit with Georgia Tech until really that fourth quarter UCF really started to take away with it. They get the win 49-21. SMU, big win over North Texas, 65-35. And the big game of the weekend that we were looking forward to, and I watched pretty much until about 4 minutes, maybe less than 3 minutes in the final quarter, was that Louisville Miami game. That final does end up being Miami 47, Louisville 34. Close game, a lot of fun. Enjoyed watching that one again until there was about 3 minutes left. You know, it stayed within 2 touchdowns for a while, and then Miami just boom, boom on 2 plays, just answered right back, and it just kind of, at that point, I was like, all right, Miami's got this one in the bag, and went to sleep. But outside of that, that's the most games. Like you say, you got the upset up there in Marshall, beating up on, well, not beating up on App State, but they did get a good win there by 10 over them. Most all the other games outside of that Georgia State and Louisiana game down there or actually it was in Georgia State, going to overtime. I just expected a little bit more out of Louisiana, and that's just kind of how that one shook out. It was a good game. Not really for Louisiana, but it was at least a good game for Georgia State to hang in there.
I think Georgia State. I think Georgia State's one of those teams. Is one of those teams that's underrated. Um, every year they seem to have a decent program. I mean, it's not championship caliber teams, but it is, a good roundabout, smooth team. They just have some bumps that they need to work out. But anyways,
Yeah, I think you might have cut out a little bit there, but I think I still heard you at least for it. Well, since we're talking about it and we've kind of gone through some of those, Cody, who do you have as your Crimson Dog of the day, team, coach, whatever, whoever?
so my Crimson Dog of the week, I'm going back with the team or well, I won't say player. But from a local team around here, going to Troy University's quarterback, Gunnar Watson, with their win over Middle Tennessee. And get my stats pulled up here real quick. He went 26 completions on 37 attempts with 248 yards and 2 touchdowns and only 1 INT. Even though he did throw that interception, he did lead his team to a great win over Middle Tennessee. I think it's going to give Troy some good starting ground to hopefully start off a good season. This is that same team. What we say? 3 years ago, went up and beat on Louisiana.
Yeah, that's
on
it.
LSU. So my Crimson Dog wanted to give it to the quarterback at Troy, Gunnar Watson.
Yeah, that was good. I watched, same thing, I kind of watched really the first half of that one, and once Troy really started wearing it on, kind of the same thing, I kind of gave it to him. One of the other ones that are, let me see. All right, so that's who you've got. So my Crimson Dog of the week is not going to be a specific player this week. I'm going to go with a team, and I may have done that last week. I think we did with Louisiana, but I thought about putting NC State up there, getting the win over Wake Forest at the house. Really close game, back and forth there. But I've decided I want to go with Navy. Navy's going to be my Crimson Dog of the week, and that is because Navy got thumped last week. They could have easily just sat down and decided we're not doing anything this week, and I thought that's what they were going to do in this game on Saturday. But they fought hard in the end. They came out with the win. They're at the very end, pulling it out 27-24 at Tulane. So give it to Navy. They're my Crimson Dog of the week. Obviously, pretty much from this point forward, that's more than likely going to change, and we're going to keep it in the SEC since this is the last week without the SEC. And, man, I am looking forward to it. We got games that are coming up this weekend. Our main show is going to be Friday's show, where we're going to break down all of the games that are upcoming in the SEC, give you, all kind of stats, do our picks and everything. We may do our picks live on Friday. We may put them in the show. We'll see. Y'all just tune in to find out more. That's pretty much got us wrapped up on our games of this past week. Cody, let's go ahead and jump into the top 25 that came out uh, earlier today.
All right. I say we did something a little different this week. I say we did the coaches poll too, because the coaches poll is actually including the Big 12 teams. So give about an idea what the coaches poll is thinking, and see if the AP follows closely with it. Within the coming weeks.
Okay, for our guys that are watching, ladies too, that are watching on YouTube, you guys check out on the side right here. This is going to be just the AP poll. This is not the coaches poll. So, like you said, that they did put the Big Ten in, and that's one of the biggest notes that I noticed when this top 10 or top 25 came out this past week was I was curious: are they going to put the Big Ten back in? Are they going to hold them out? How exactly is this thing going to work? And when I looked at the AP top 25, I was like, oh, cool. They don't have them in there. They're going to be back in, obviously, as they kind of get. It's going to be interesting to see when they decide to put them in. But then, like you said, looking over at the coaches poll, seeing them in there did make a difference. So, and I was kind of surprised by the biggest one being Ohio State, where they landed. Cody, you go ahead and run through the coaches poll for us, and I'll run through the AP poll for us.
All right, coaches poll. Not much change off the coaches poll compared to the AP. Your top three, of course, is Clemson, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Um, continuing down, actually third is tied between Oklahoma and Georgia in the coaches poll. I just missed that one. So continuing down, fifth is LSU, sixth is Florida, seventh Notre Dame, eight is Auburn, ninth is Texas, and number 10 is your Ohio State Buckeyes. So coaches poll has, I think, 5 total Pac-10 teams in their top 25.
Big Ten, you mean?
And the highest ranking one being, or Big Ten. And the highest ranking one being Ohio State. But continuing down, number 11 is Texas A&M, 12, North Carolina, 13, and your second Big Ten team in Penn State. 14th, you have Miami, who jumped up 4 spots in the coaches poll. 15th is UCF, 16th Cincinnati, 17th your third Big Ten team in Wisconsin. Sitting 18th is Oklahoma State. 19th is your fourth Big Ten team in Michigan. Number 20 is Memphis. They fell 5 spots. Tennessee falling 4 spots. Your last Big Ten 10 team in your top 25 in Minnesota. And finishing up your top 25 is BYU at 23, Virginia Tech 24th, and the Louisiana Raging Cajuns sitting 25th in the coaches poll.
Yeah, what were they in the coaches poll last week? Did they put them? I don't see. Oh, they were 21 in the coaches poll last week.
They were 4 up from where they're at, so yeah.
Yeah, I was interested
to
see how
4
much
spots,
they would
but
fall
I think
on the coaches
that's
as a
due to dropping from the rank. Your 5 teams who got pushed out is Louisville with their loss to Miami, Kentucky, App State with their loss to Marshall, Baylor, and Army are your 5 that got booted out for the I got something digging in my foot. Anyways, your 5 that got pushed out with the Big Ten getting moved around.
I got you. Yeah, I think my biggest surprise in that one was not only that they put the Big Ten in on the coaches poll, but where they landed. I was surprised that Ohio State fell as far as they did in 10 coming in.
I'm wondering if with them postponing like they did and, second guessing saying, oh, we'll play now, I think that kind of hurt them. I think if they would, step from the beginning of the season, we're going to play, that they would have been up in the top 4 like they were in the preseason.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, like I said just a minute ago, I'm going to run through the top 25 for the AP poll now that you've gone to the coaches poll. I'm getting a little bit more feedback from you again.
Yeah, it comes and
I
goes.
tell you what I'm going to do. I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit on there, just so that way hopefully it cuts out, so it's not too loud on our video at least. All right, running through the AP top 25 here. You do have Clemson. Pretty much everything in the top 10 stays the same. Outside of they put all Texas tied at 8th. Technically, I know I put it on the list as Texas at 9th. It just makes it simpler. They got the same amount of points. Texas is 1-0. So that reading off to you is Clemson 1, Alabama 2, Oklahoma 3, Georgia 4, Florida in 5th, LSU 6, coming in at 7's Notre Dame 8, Auburn and Texas. And at 10th is Texas A&M. Starts to change a little bit once you get to 11. North Carolina finds himself in the 11th spot after coming up from 12 last week. Miami, after the win over Louisville, jumps up 5 spots to the 12th spot. UCF, after a good win, finds themselves at 13. Starting to fall in the polls for a couple of guys. Cincinnati coming in at 14. Oklahoma State, after their game, falls 4 spots to 15. Tennessee will fall a spot down to 16. Memphis falls a spot down to 17. BYU will jump up a few spots into the 18th spot. Louisiana finds themselves still in the 19th spot, which I was kind of surprised about that they didn't move at all, at least in the AP poll. I figured they might have dropped a little bit, but like you said, in the coaches poll, they do find themselves in 25th. Coming in at 20th, you've got Virginia Tech. Pitt shows up in 21, jumping up 4 spots after their good win. Army didn't play this past week. They're going to stay in the same spot at 22nd, as well as Kentucky at 23rd. Louisville, they're the main one that fall. They fall about 6 spots after the loss to Miami, but do find themselves still in the top 25. And coming in out of the ranks from last week is Marshall, showing up there in your number 25 spot. Cody, how do you feel about the rest of the AP top 25 there?
Yeah, I mean, there's some changes in there that I think we kind of knew were coming. I'm surprised Miami jumped up that high off that win over Louisville. But I guess with not many teams playing, But it's weird how they take these teams that have won and drop them out so far.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right about that. And, I mean, I think it was a good win for Miami, so I don't mind it so much as far as them dropping a little bit like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that it was a great win over Louisville. They're at the home, but I'm surprised to see like Oklahoma State dropping 4 spots. So.
Yeah, I don't know that I sent you this. Is your email pulled up? If I send you something real quick, will you get it?
Yes.
All right, do me a favor real quick if you don't mind. Just talk to me a little bit about the top 25 that you got up here in the AP poll. Tell me kind of how you feel about a few of these guys. I'm going to send this thing to you so you get it digitally as
well. Seeing Marshall jump up there after their big win is real good to see. Louisville dropping their 6 after their loss to Miami, which is notable. Pitt jumping up 4 spots for their win. It's real good to see also. Like you mentioned, pretty much your top 10 don't really change, and I don't think it's going to change for a while. After this weekend, you may see a little bit of jumble around, but I don't think you're going to notice a big difference there for the top 10 in the AP poll.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of see how some things shake out, especially coming this week after you do get the SEC to be able to play.
Yeah, I think once you get the SEC playing, you'll see a little bit more changes around there. I think with your top 10 like it is, though, with that many SEC schools in there, it ain't going to change a whole lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say, I think going back to our overrated...
I'll tell you later on to the season.
Yeah, I do think going back to our overrated, underrated segment last week, I think Louisiana to me is still that one. Just a little bit overrated for me as far as, that goes from last week. I'm hoping you got that email in there.
Man, you crazy.
I'm gonna pop it up for us here on here on video. You guys on podcast won't be able to see it. Again, go to YouTube to check out what we've got going on visually here for our show. Cody, were you able to get it pulled up there?
I'm working on it.
All right. Well, mainly what it is here, it is the Week 1 bet lines, and this is based off of ESPN here, so I'm going to kind of run through a couple of them here. You got Georgia as a 22-point favorite over Arkansas to open up. Alabama opens up as a 21.5-point favorite over Mizzou. Florida opens up as an 11-point favorite at Ole Miss. Tennessee opens up as a 3.5-point favorite at South Carolina. Moving on to a couple of others, you got Kentucky at Auburn. Auburn is a 10.5-point favorite. Mississippi LSU. LSU is a 19-point favorite, and Texas A&M playing host to Vandy is a 28.5-point favorite. Are any of those numbers kind of popping out to you as, whoa, that looks like it might be a little bit heavy, or maybe not, or how you kind of feeling on that?
I'm trying to get my email to pop up still. I think some of them are about where you expect. What you said the South Carolina game was?
Let's see. I'll put it back up here for you guys watching. The South Carolina, Tennessee's 3.5-point favorites over South Carolina.
That one, you can kind of take a hit on.
Again, we'll do our picks and everything.
I just think South
Friday,
Carolina
so
actually may pull it.
We'll do our picks again on Friday, so don't give anybody too much information here. That's just kind of pulling up what we've got as far as the start of the week, because it'll also be interesting to see what it looks like at the end of the week.
No, I'm sure they'll change when you get there. Thursday, Friday night. You'll start seeing some fluctuating in those numbers.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, like I said, I just kind of wanted to pull that up and see kind of how you felt about it anyways. Really coming in on our next segment, we're going to do like we normally do and talk a little bit about some, let's say we've done pretty much everything that I've got written out here. We're pretty much going to go through our high school review, again, locally around here. So if you're good, were you able to get the scores pulled up that I sent to you earlier on that end?
Yes, I got them pulled up.
Good deal. Well, that'll be kind of the next setup that we got coming on here. And we'll jump right into it. You want to run through the Alabama scores real quick?
Yeah, I can't. Let me get this. Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing that's Northside Methodist.
Yes,
Start off on Alabama.
Quick. Yeah, Northside Methodist versus North Bay Haven Academy.
And North Methodist loses that one 35-34. So somebody missed a field goal. Continuing on over, Kinston went to Georgiana, and Georgiana comes up with the win 36-26.
If you want to, Cody, after you give the scores,
visited the Wicksburg Panthers.
Were you able to? I guess it probably didn't show you what their records are afterwards. Just roll on with the scores and everything, and I might throw a couple of your records out there afterwards.
I got you. Continuing on down, New Brockton went and visited Wicksburg and lost. Wicksburg coming out with a clean sweep there, 47-0. What's Wicksburg improved to? Is it 2-1 on the season?
Actually, they're going to be 4-1 on the season after this one.
4-1. And where do you went? 4th high school? I went to visit Delville and taking a win there, 54-6. Ashford went to Geneva and got beat 41-8. ACA, Abbeville Christian, went to Pickens Academy, coming out with a win there, 41-13. Houston County gets their first win on the season at Zion Chapel, 16-6. Carroll went to visit Headland and bringing out the win there, 46-20. Enterprise visiting Central, losing there 45-28. Central getting the win there. Rehoboth and the Pikeward game was canceled or postponed, however you want to classify that. Elba going to Cottonwood, getting the win there, 56-6. Dothan going up to Prattville and losing there, 35-0. Prattville getting the clean sweep there. Let's see, Abbeville going to Geneva County. Geneva County getting the win at home, 42-30. Houston Academy visiting Slocum, losing. That's a long trip for a loss. Slocum winning there, 48-0.
That sounds good. One of the notable games I think that I put up as kind of my game of the week, at least for your main guys there, was that Abbeville and Geneva County game, just because both of them come in completely undefeated. Abbeville comes in at 4-0, Geneva County at 3-0. Figured it was going to be the game of the week, the one that I marked for it anyways. Like you said, unfortunately, Abbeville will fall. They will not have an undefeated season this year. They move to 4-1, and Geneva County will roll on to be 4-0. A couple of other games around the league that we didn't mention right there was Brantley's going to improve to 4-0 on the season as well after a 54-0 trouncing over Pleasant home. Let's see, another close one right here was McKenzie gets the win over Sampson 28-24, improving to 2-1. Sampson will fall to 2-2 on the season after that one. I think he did the New Brockton-Wicksburg game. Another one was GW Long will improve to 3-0 on the season after beating up on Ayrton 51-6. Ayrton will fall to 2-3 on the season. A couple of these kind of, I guess, their records may or may not be off a game or two. It's kind of hard to see that, like that one there. You could add a team like Houston Academy and Slocum, 2-2. Houston Academy traveling to 2-1. Slocum, like you said, gets the big win, 48-0, improving to 3-1. Whereas Houston Academy is going to fall to 2-3. 5 games already being played according to this, so it's kind of hard to see that we've already got that far into some of the Alabama games, where some of the Georgia games are really just now kind of kicking off. That pretty much, like you say, is going to round out our Alabama scores. Let's see, one other one that's kind of a little bit further off is Pike County gets the win over Trinity Presbyterian gets the win over Pike County 26-0 at home. They'll improve to 4-1. Pike County falls to 1-2. Unfortunately, like you said, for Dothan falling to 0-4 on the season to now 4-1. Prattville. One score out of Florida that I got here was Holmes County's actually going to get the win and improve to 1-2 on the season after beating Graceville at home 40-18. Graceville will fall to 0-2 to start the season. And that pretty much rounds out at least some of our Alabama scores. I'm going to just shoot right through and hit some of your Georgia scores. One other note on the Alabama side of things was the Houston County game. Our alma mater is a lot of reason we kind of talk about it. They will improve to 1-4 on the season after the win there at Zion Chapel. They will fall to 0-4, and that game was actually played on Saturday at 3:00. Not sure if it was field related or exactly what the deal was there. Did you hear anything on that?
Possibly. I'm not sure, but I would guess it would have to be weather related or field related. If I'm not mistaken, I think Zion Chapel's right in that area that got a lot of rain past week with the Hurricane Sally coming through. So,
yeah. Well, like I say, I'm gonna run through some of your Georgia scores locally here real quick, and that'll pretty much round us out for the week. Starting on Thursday, you had Hawkinsville traveling to Baconton. Hawkinsville gets the win 33-6. Baconton will be 1-1. They may have been 1-1 start. Or excuse me. I think that puts them at 1-1 on the season here. SGA travels to Calvary Christian, gets a big win there, 45-24. They'll improve to 1-1 on the season. Calvary Christian opens the season at 0-2 now. Patala Charter travels to Miller County. Miller County absolutely smokes them 53-6, improving to 1-2 on the season. Patala Charter, will fall to 0-3 on the season. Getting to a couple of your other local scores here. Banneker taking on Colquitt County, both starting the season there. Colquitt County, big win, 51-0 to get things rolling there in Moultrie. Irwin County travels over to Cook. Cook will get the win 21-20. Really close one there over Irwin County. Unfortunately, after Irwin County falls last week to Fitzgerald, the Indians will fall again, now opening the season at 0-2. Cook 1-1 on the season. The Fullington Academy, Terrell Academy game, I didn't get a score to, so that one may or may not have been canceled, postponed, what have you. Looking forward to a couple of others here. You got Americus Sumter traveling to Worth County. Worth County gets the win 21-7, improving to 2-1 on the season. Americus Sumter falls to 0-2. Tift Area will travel to Bullock Academy. Bullock gets the win 38-32. Pretty close game there. They're going to improve to 2-1 on the season. Tift Area will fall to 1-1. Game of the week that I was looking forward to was 1-0 Turney County heading to 2-0 Fitzgerald. Wasn't much of a game. Fitzgerald took it to them 42-6. They'll improve to 3-0 in the season. Turner County falling to 1-1. Atkinson County travels to Terrell County. Terrell open up their season with a loss 20-18 to Atkinson. Atkinson will move to 2-1 on the season, whereas Terrell will fall to 0-1. Berrien County traveling to Bacon County. Bacon County with a good win there, 42-21 over Berrien, moving to 2-1 on the season. Berrien falling to 1-2. Wilcox County taking on Shealy County. Shealy County squeaking it out by 20-19, improving to 2-0 on the season. Wilcox will fall to 1-1. Houston County travels to the undefeated Coffee, and Coffee will continue that undefeated streak, moving to 3-0 after a 22-0 win over Houston County. They will fall to 1-2, starting their season. Deerfield traveling over to Southland. Really tight game here. It ended with the score. All they needed was a field goal to tie it up, and Southland will fall 15-12. Really low scoring game there. Southland now 0-2 to start your season. Deerfield 2-1. And then I think defending state champions Lee County taking on Crawford County there at the house. Lee County proving to 2-0 on the season. Crawford 0-3 after a absolute blowout, 66-0 there in Lee County. And that is pretty much going to round out our high school preview there. Cody, how you feeling about any of those over there? One of the other ones was Westwood had the week off, so another local deal there.
Yeah, and Early County and
Mitchell County.
Was it Seminole? Was that postponed? Mitchell County was postponed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was coronavirus related or what.
You know, I'm not 100% on that. I knew that the game was coming up, and I believe the game was supposed to be in Mitchell County again as well. And let's see, I didn't write it on there, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly why that one was canceled. But I do know it may have been corona related because I do know that the high school up there, I think they posted on their Facebook page that they would be opening back up all their sports activities to, let's say, Monday. So yeah, which would technically be today when you get to watch or hear this.
Yeah, so
So
that's pretty interesting scores there. I think some of them we kind of saw coming. Other ones are a little bit unsuspected. So
yeah, no, for sure. And I think we say it every time, and I'm gonna continue saying it. You guys follow us on Facebook and Twitter. If you follow us there now, or follow us, listening on here, we have posted up our website where all you have to do is click on the link below, and it will take you to our Facebook page or Twitter page where you can go and listen to the podcast as well for you podcast listeners. So just check that link out there, and that will get you where you want to be as far as all of that information goes. But for the most part, Cody, I think that's kind of got us wrapped up. Again, it's a pretty simple, quick, and easy episode this week, or this Monday at least, because Friday's show is going to be loaded Friday's going to be pretty loaded, exactly, kind of going through everything that's to come this coming weekend with SEC opening up the season.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like you mentioned, this one's kind of one of our shorter episodes we've done. But also, we don't want to give too much away with the upcoming games this weekend. So, and y'all be on the lookout. We got another little surprise that we've been working on the past couple weeks too, that hopefully y'all see this coming weekend.
Yeah, looking forward to it all the way around. Got a lot of stuff to come. Again, you guys tune in for the Friday episode. The season's kicking off this weekend. We got a lot of content information to bring you.
And like always, guys, this has been SEC Talk with your host, Holden and Cody. Follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, at SEC Talk 20. If you want your high school teams or your college team shouted out, or if there's something that we missed in news, message on Facebook. Let us know. Um, Besides that, I think that's pretty much it, man.
That's it. I enjoy it. Again, you guys tune in later. Other than that, we out.